Go.
Okay, so gonna do a Vietnamese beef salad this evening, and it's an interesting one because it's got tons of ingredients. That's a massive pain, I get that, okay, but actually it's a good exercise in chopping things up. So give yourself loads of time, chop everything properly, and then all you're doing is kind of assembling various bits together, so it's not actually a very difficult recipe. I'll go through what we've got, what I do in this Vietnamese salad. Basically we have some green elements, which will have an iceberg lettuce here and some watercress. Again, none of these things are necessarily specific. You can mix and match. There's a few things I think that are very important, but you know, something green, that's all quite nice. We have then herbs that are quite important, mint and coriander. I'm then adding some carrots, a little bit of green chilli. Family moaning all the time about hot things, so I've only got a little bit of chilli there. Normal people would have at least a whole chilli in there. I put in some pepper. I've got some cucumber here. I've got some limes, some sirloin. These are sirloin steaks that we're going to cook very quickly, and then we're going to slice them thinly, and they go on the top. And then I've got some green beans. Now, a couple of things just quickly important here. Number one, on the beans, I've pre-cooked these, okay? I've boiled them, or you put them in the microwave for 3 minutes, something like that. But the key thing is, once I've cooked them, I immediately plunge them into cold water. Now, I know that's a bit of a faff, it might seem like that, but here's the thing. If you don't do that, you will end up, these beans are lovely and green and vibrant. If you don't do that, you'll end up with slightly grey coloured beans, and whilst that's totally fine, it doesn't look very nice. So my advice, cook them very quickly, plunge them into cold water, and they will always stay that lovely green colour. So when you see lovely green beans that are cooked and cold, that's what they've done with them. The other thing, which is really important, is a couple of things that we're going to have, because we're going to have a dressing that goes on the top. And that consists of, well, it would normally consist of some sweet chili sauce. I don't have any sweet chili sauce because I couldn't get any, and it's on lockdown. But I've got I did have some kicap manis, which is like a sweet soy type thing. So I'm having to play around with that. One key thing you have to have though is fish sauce, okay, nam pla. Again, you can get this, not difficult, hard to get these days. However, this is rocket fuel. It is crazy powerful, okay? So you put a teeny weeny bit of this, okay? If you put lots of that in, the whole thing will be ruined. So you've got to be really careful with that. The other star of the show are these things, okay? These are lime leaves, kaffir lime leaves. These are fresh ones. Now I managed to get these on my shopping delivery thing. If you don't have these really are the difference between making a really like tasty salad and not, okay? So, and they smell absolutely amazing. You cut them up, you don't even know they're in there, but that's what gives it that real kind of Vietnamese amazing flavour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop some of these other things up, and I'm going to make the sauce, and I'm going to cook the steaks, and then we're going to put it all together, and then we will have a lovely Vietnamese salad.
Okay.
Okay, so I've part chopped some of these things. I'm just going to quickly chop lots of the other things up so we've got them, but essentially all I'm doing is chopping them and putting them in a bowl. With the cucumber, again, all I'm doing here is I am just very thinly slicing the cucumber there. I do them in little blocks, and then again point in and then down, and then you can just chop all these things up, and they can then go in. And again, I mean, if I was you, honestly, I would just take a little bit of time and just enjoy doing this. It's quite a pleasant experience if you've got the ton of time to do it. Again, the peppers, we've done peppers many times in the past. Again, try and keep them, I've talked about this before, but keeping things like the same size, so nice and thin. If things are chunky, keep everything chunky. I mean, when you're eating them, it will make a big difference how you eat these things. Slicing carrots in these little julienne is an interesting one. Again, I remember learning how to do this at a knife school, and one of the things they taught me was that if you do basically one slice and then put it on its edge, it's then, and they do those two bits, then you've then got like two square edges, and you can use one edge on the ground, and then it's like a lot easier to cook. Again, if you use the point of your knife, choose where you want the thickness and push that to start with, then the rest of the knife goes down with it. Okay, and you'll see that just quite easily you can get a few carrots, and again I'll have a few layers together and then just hold them, and then there you go. That's how you get like pretty nice, easy julienne carrots. Again, don't go too, you want those nice and thin. I've done my chilli, I'm not going to do any more than that, otherwise everyone will get upset at me. And as I say, I've got these beans, again, depends on the width of those, you can just maybe cut them in half if you want. Doesn't really matter. I do love green beans in this. I'm not sure if that's traditional or not, but I do love green beans in that. Now, the star of the show, kaffir lime leaves, okay? You have to do a couple of things with these. Number one, you have to cut the middle bit out. So that's the bit you want out, which is the bit in the middle. You see I've done that with most of these here. And then we're just going to try and cut them as thin as we can. And again, what you can do is you can kind of grab them together and then try and roll them up into a little ball. And then once you've done that, you're then kind of cutting them all together at once. You do not want a big chunk of kaffir lime leaf, okay? You have to have really, really thin little bits, so just take your time here. Okay? And the thinner you get them, the more tastier they will be. Okay? You see, a bit fiddly, but these really do make a difference on the flavour. Okay. Just chop those up so that no one gets a nice big mouthful piece, and that goes in as well. I've then got some mint. Okay, again, similar sort of thing. Just really thin bits. Good handful of mint. Got some more there. Don't want too many thick stalks with these. If you go fairly thin on it, you're okay. And then coriander, same thing. It's got the elastic band on it, so it's just holding it all. Roll it up a little bit and then just go at it. I love coriander. Fresh coriander is arguably my favourite herb. Don't want any stalks. And then that goes in there. Yes, the last thing I want here is then, I've got iceberg lettuce. I'm going to, again, just cut a chunk off that. I would then turn it on its side like that, and then, again, just really thin little strands. Again, you see it's just all the same size. You can try and keep everything like that. That's actually quite a lot of lettuce. Again, just free that up a bit, and then that can all go in. I'm going to mix that all around, and I'm going to give this a good mix again when I get the when I put the dressing on it. And you see that's starting to look lovely. Now I've got to be honest, you can put a dressing on that as is if you're vegetarian. My sister-in-law Charlotte, she's vegetarian. I'd put a dressing on that, serve that to her. And again, if you're eating for vegetarians and non-vegetarians, you can take some of that out, put it in another bowl for your vegetarians, sorry, and they can then they can have something to do. So I'm now going to do the steak. I'm going to very quickly fry that, slice it up, and then put it all over over that, and then put a dressing on it, which I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly salt these steaks up. I've already put salt on them. Always put plenty of salt on your steak, but don't put it on. Only put it on just before you're about to cook it. Okay, I've got two sirloin steaks. You'll see they're quite different in size, so this one's going to be far quicker to cook. I've cut all the fat off it because I'm putting it in the salad. I don't want too much fat in there. So I'm just going to stick this onto my pan here. And the key thing is, I'm going to only let this kind of really cook on the outside and be raw, but well done, not very well done on the inside at all. If you cook the meat way too much on this, you'll lose all the kind of, a lot of the flavour that you would normally have if you just kept things just a little bit less well done in the middle. So, nice hot griddle or a hot frying pan, put them in there. and just wait, be patient. Okay, so I've fried off these steaks. I timed it actually so that people can get a good idea. This one, which was relatively thin, I did for about 2 minutes on either side. And you'll see it's just got, it's nice, very hot griddle pan, so it's got a nice colour on either side. This one I did for about 2.5, 3 minutes on either side. Okay. Now the most important thing, you've got to let the steak sit for a good 5 minutes or so. Okay, if you don't, you're going to get loads of juice coming out. It makes a difference. The reason why everyone talks about, oh, let your meat rest, is because it genuinely makes a difference. Okay, so what we've done is we've got all this, and what I'm going to do is I'll just give you an idea. I'm going to cut it like really thinly. Okay, and so I'll just give you an idea of how thin. Okay, so like almost little shavings. Now again, why are you doing that? Everyone will be saying, I just want to quickly get it. Okay, it makes a difference. If you get it as really thin pieces, it tastes so much nicer. Okay, now you'll see on this one, I'd argue I might have even gone very slightly over, but you have to be able to see some pink in the middle of this yet. Okay, really important. So I'll carry on, I'll slice all these up and then we're going to put them in the bowl.
Go.
Okay, so I've sliced all of it up and you can see it's just like a lovely sliced up mess. I'm actually going to season that a little bit, okay, because I think the meat makes a big difference, and just give that a little bit of a mix, okay. Okay, and I'm going to keep that to one side just for the moment because I'm going to put that on after I've done the dressing for the meat. So here's the dressing. I've got 4 limes, okay. So I need
2 limes.
2 limes, sorry, 4 half slices. So again, what I've done is I prick my the lime on the inside just to get the maximum juice. You see just that technique there again. Just get as much juice out as you can. You can't really do this with lemons. I mean, I'm quite happy to substitute limes and lemons if I'm completely honest sometimes. But for this, it really needs to be. It does need to be limes. Again, I've also, on the bottom of this as well, you see that I had like probably a tablespoon of sugar, and that's really quite important because you're looking for like a hot, sweet and sour combination. So sweetness, so I've got some sugar in there, I've then got the lime juice. I'm then going to put in this ridiculously powerful fish sauce. Again, you smell it, it smells like a stinky old feet. It smells like my friend Justin's socks, because he has smelly feet. I'm going to put in, I mean, some people say like a whole tablespoon of this. I can't imagine that you put that in, but I'm going to go and have a kind of a capful at the most, mainly because I think it's just really strong. But I will taste it in a minute. I've then got normally I'd put in some chili some sweet chili sauce on that. I don't have that, so I'm having to put in this probably about, I don't know, tablespoon of this stuff. This is like a kind of almost like a hoisin sauce, and because I don't have the chili sauce, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a good bit of tomato ketchup, which I know might sound crazy, but all these sort of things. So what I'm mixing up here is this lovely kind of brown type sauce, and I'll give that a taste and see if it. Oh, that's lovely. Really sweet. Actually, I am gonna put in a tiny bit more of this fish sauce just so I can taste it. Okay. Excuse my mess. Okay, that's lovely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that all over this. Okay, you'll see. So we have all of that beautiful sauce that then gives that flavour, and I'm just going to get my hands in. Okay, again, you got to do this. I know my kids moan about putting sauces on stuff, but I just stick it in and then they either eat it or they don't eat it. It's really kind of as simple as that. And then I'm going to get all this lovely meat. Okay, that just goes on the top. Gosh, the smell is amazing. And then we just mix it all up. And there we have a really lovely Vietnamese beef salad. Excuse fingers. Take that to the table, serve that. The only other thing, sorry, I've just suddenly realised, the only thing I want to put in here as well is some watercress. Again, you can just tear that up. Again, watercress gives it that kind of nice pepperiness. I'd almost forgotten about that. Okay, and then that can just again go through again. And there we have a beautiful Vietnamese beef salad. Ta-da! Enjoy.